Hey everyone, how are you doing? So I wanted to thank all of you for your support. You guys have been incredible with following me in the race yesterday, doing the Madison half Ironman. So I really appreciate all of your support, the encouraging words that I received via text message, Facebook Messenger, comments on Facebook and Instagram. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate all of your support in doing this crazy race, right? It was something that I have never done before, something that was the hardest race I've ever done. So I really appreciate all of your support with it. And so thank you so much for coming on and supporting me. So this video is going to be like a recap of the whole race, kind of like give you the full thing here. So kind of play by play, as it were. So you can kind of see how I went through it, how I felt through it. And I'll tell you right now, today, this is the day after the race, I'm feeling fantastic. My legs are, my calves and knees are a little bit sore, but nothing that I wouldn't expect from just doing a long run. So I'm really happy with that result. Besides that, I'm feeling fantastic, wearing the cool finisher shirt right here, and we got Vladimir's nose in the middle. Hi, buddy. So, a big shout out before I get going with the whole story to my trainer, Ted McDonald. If you are looking for a trainer for, marathon, half marathon, or, any triathlon, sprint, Olympic, half Ironman, or full Ironman, or any race, go and seek out Ted. He is an amazing guy. He lives in California. I'm in Wisconsin, but we made it work with phone calls, text messages, and email. He helped me get my nutrition on track, and just the training plans and all that was awesome. So huge shout out to Ted. Thank you so much for your amazing help. I really appreciate it, buddy. So yeah, check out Ted if you're looking for a trainer. Okay. So yesterday's race, we went and we drove down to Madison. It's about a 2-hour drive from my house on Saturday morning, because we had to drop off the bike in early, and then we did that, got the swag and got the bibs and all that stuff that you need for the next day, and then we drove the course, the bike course. And it's a 56-mile bike, so if you don't know what it is, it was a 1.2-mile swim, 56-mile bike, followed by a half marathon, a 13.1-mile run. And so we drove the bike course that night. Since I haven't been down there, I saw the maps of it, I saw the elevation maps of it, but I haven't driven it yet, so I didn't know what it looked like. And we're driving, and it was just daunting. I'm going, there are so many churns, some of the roads are just utter crap, to be honest, and some are really nice, but a lot of junky roads on there, and it was just getting me down to about halfway-ish through, about to miles 25, 30, and then, my mind started changing a little bit, still daunting. I swam the day before and biked and ran just a little bit. It was choppy out on the water, so that was a new element for me, although the forecast for Sunday looked good. So anyway, I got enough sleep, went out to dinner and whatever, ate healthy, and then the next day woke up early, had a breakfast that I pre-made, which was awesome, having that all set. And then the forecast was all over the place for that day. The day before, on Saturday, it said that Sunday was looking like it was going to be no rain, very light wind, and just like the perfect day. And then later Saturday, it said 90% chance of rain, and not a lot of wind, but a lot of rain. And okay, well, anyway, woke up Sunday, and it ended up being just like light sprinkles for 5-10 minutes tops, for me at least, and then just perfect conditions, right? Low or mid 60s, and just ideal conditions for this race. So we get there, and we get all checked in. I get my bike and gear all set up, and I head over to the tunnel, for the funnel, whatever you want to call it, the chute, as it were, for the swim. I got my wetsuit on, I'm chatting with all the people next to me. We have a rolling start where they have 4 people leave every 5 seconds, and I was in the group that was hoping to complete it in 45 to 50 minutes for this 1.2-mile swim. And I'm chatting with the people behind me, and we're slowly moving forward. A half hour or a little bit more after the first person went in the water, I finally was able to get out and start swimming. So the swim was going good. The wetsuit felt awesome. It kept my buoyancy up. I was able to cut through the water nicely. And my main mindset with this was just take it easy. Don't go crazy. I have a tendency to sprint and push really hard when I shouldn't, and I burn out that way. But I was taking it easy. I was feeling good, and just nice, easy strokes with it, and just kept going. And I kept passing all these people, and I'm going, okay, we'll just slow down, right? Don't go crazy. I have a long ways to go. It was 800 meters out. And when I got there, I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little tired, but this is okay. We're doing all right. And then you turn left and had 300 meters that way. And I was starting to feel it. I was starting to feel maybe a little lightheaded. The goggles were pressing in on my head. My left one was leaking a little bit. Some water was getting in, which sucked. So I did, just pause at points, like do a couple extra kicks and get the water out and push it back on my face. And hopefully no more water got in. And I kept paddling, and I just started getting a little bit lightheaded-ish, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm pushing too hard, so I tried taking it easy. I turned the corner again, and then I had 800 back. It was a big triangle, right? So I had 800 meters to come back in, and so I'm heading in, and I'm feeling okay. I try to lighten up my stroke a bit, so I'm breathing well. I'm finding my pattern, and hoping that everything's going to be okay. And this is just weird. I haven't had this happen during the swim before. So I'm just taking it easy, make sure I breathe a little more often than where I think, and I'm just swimming, I said paddling, swimming in, and my stomach starts to get upset. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is not the time to feel sick. I'm like, I must be pushing too hard, I'm going too fast or whatever. And so I slowed up. I was getting really warm, almost like just like that flush feeling that you get. So I'm swimming in, and I'm probably halfway, 3/4 of the way in at this point, and my stomach is feeling, not to be gross, but my stomach is feeling, man, it feels like you're just gonna puke, right? So it's like, yeah, this is not good. This just, you're gonna puke, right? Whatever. So I'm swimming, and I'm like, I can't puke in the water. This is horrible. There's other swimmers in here. I don't want to, nasty. I just want to do that to them. And like, maybe if I swim out to the kayak, hold on to them and puke or vomit, whatever, and then continue on. But I try ignoring it. I just keep swimming in. And then after about another 100 meters, I'm going, there's no way. Maybe I have 200 meters left or something like this. And like, there's no way. I can't hold this, whatever. So I turn off to one side, as gross as it is, ready to puke, and then a huge belch, like a big burp, bigger than I've had in a long time, just came up, whether it was a pre-workout or whatever. Oh, my stomach felt so much better. No puke, which is great. Yes, yay, thank you for that. And I keep swimming in. I'm still a little lightheaded, but I'm heading and my stomach feels better, which is a plus. So then I finally get to where we get out of the water, and I know I'm lightheaded. I'm not feeling great, so I get out. I take my wetsuit off halfway, goggles, cap off, and all that. And I'm slowly walking up because there's no way I could run. I would trip, I would fall, I would be disoriented even more. So I just walk up the ramp. And it's a long ways between when you get out of the water to the transition area where my bike is. So I go to where they have strippers, the people helping you get out of your wetsuit. So I go over there, I walk over there, I'm feeling a little bit better at this point, right? I caught my breath, I'm feeling good, and then they get the wetsuit off, great, and then I'm feeling all right. And I see Katie over to my left, she was there taking pictures, and she said I did it in 42 minutes. 42 minutes! Like 8 minutes faster than my goal. So probably why I wasn't feeling so good. And the other reason why I think I was feeling a little lightheaded was because while it was in the 60s, I had my wetsuit on, right? I had it half on for maybe an hour, and then I put the top half on for maybe half hour, 45 minutes or something like that. So I was just overheated. I should have drank some water while I was lying, planned that out. So I think it was a little bit of dehydration with just getting a little overheated beforehand, which caused that to happen. So in any case, I get out of, and I'm now able to jog to my bike, and not fast, but just jog to my bike, get there, get some fun. I'm going, man, I really have to pee. And so your transitions count as your time in the race. So I'm like, oh man, not to be gross, but my hope was to pee in the water, and that didn't happen. I tried to, but with my mind just and my stomach not feeling good and me just feeling lightheaded, it just didn't happen. I tried, didn't happen. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm in the transition area. There's 2 porta potties. If anyone from Madison Ironman's listening to this, please put more porta potties in the transition area. 2 is not enough. There was a line. So I waited. I'm getting all my other gear on. I see 2 people left in line. Boom. I jog over to the line. Like, let's do this. Let's get it done with. And they take forever. For freaking ever. It was so annoying. And so, like, I'm waiting. Finally, I get to the porta potty, go to the bathroom in like 30 seconds. Boom, out, grab my bike, gone. My first transition took 10 minutes. It took 10 minutes for 2 reasons, in my opinion. First reason, I was lightheaded, and I just wasn't feeling good with that first part, so I was taking my time. That's tolerable. Like, I could understand, I could be fine with that. Second reason is the bathrooms took so long. It was just ridiculous. If I got rid of that, man, I probably, kid you not, could have at least shaved off 3 minutes off my transition time, if not maybe more, because of that. Right, and if I saw the lightheadedness, man, I could have brought my transition down a lot more. So maybe even like to 5-minute transition time or something along those lines. Any case, so I get on my bike, get out of the transition area, and we're allowed to clip in then, and we start hanging out on the bike. Within, maybe a minute on the bike, I felt so much better, right? I had my nutrition taped to the bike, I had a beach bar, I had a sweet and salty bar, and I had a gel. I had I used Beachbody Performance Hydrates. I had those in there. I had Energize in my back in a bottle, so I was set to go. And man, within that first minute, I felt great. We were cruising along this trail. We were all doing about 19, 20 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour down. And this bike is going great so far, and it's all feeling easy, feeling good. And we're cruising, and it's nice. Everyone's really friendly. We're chatting with each other as we're passing one another and just telling jokes and doing whatever. We're all feeling really good. And it's a really hilly course, so we had some fun with hills. Towards the beginning, probably within the first 20 miles, something like that, there was one hill I went up, and we were able to enjoy it. A lot of these hills in this course, you go down and you had to churn, so you didn't get to enjoy the full hill. You just had to go up and then come down and brake and churn. A couple of hills you get to really enjoy. So one of them that I got to enjoy, I was up, and man, it was a steep grade down, and I was cruising down. So much so that I got a personal best on my speed on my bike, if you want to call it that, and that is I did 42 miles an hour according to my Garmin, or according to my bike computer, 42 miles an hour down this hill. It was nuts. It was crazy. So scary, but so awesome and exciting. Wow. So the bike's going well. There's some brutal hills as we're heading up, and you just adjust the gears and you keep going, but I powered through them. My quads were getting sore, but nothing horrible. My nutrition was on check. I ate every, 15 to 17 miles. I ate something. I finished a bottle of hydrate every hour. I grabbed a water from one of the aid stations that they have for us. Grabbed a water, had that. And I had my Energized towards the last little bit. It's feeling good. Whole ride feeling amazing. I think I averaged 18.5 miles an hour in the first half, and then like 17.7 or something in the second half. So a little bit slower in the second half, but I was also want to make sure I had enough energy for this run. So we get back to transition. Hold on. So we get back to the transition area, and everything's going well. I'm feeling good, feeling great. I get my bike mounted or put up there, get my shoes on, and my initial plan was to go to the bathroom at this point, right? In between the bike and the run to go to the bathroom. Well, I was feeling good. I didn't have to go, so yay that. Saved me some time. And I got my shoes on. My legs are feeling good. I've been dealing with a little bit of issues with my right calf, just being tight. Something that I've been able to work through the first mile, no problem. But, man, got on my shoes, started running, and, man, I felt awesome. There was no issues, no pain, nothing in my right calf, and the run felt really good. And so the point where I started running, and I thought I was going slow, which I know from experience this happens right after you jump off the bike. It feels like you're running super slow, but you're not. I found out afterwards that I was running like a 6.5 minute mile. Say what? No, yeah, so crazy. I didn't realize that at the time, obviously, because we're not allowed to have headphones or anything like that on us, so I had no clue what my time was, and the watch that I had on me, this one, I didn't have set up to time my miles with it, although I should have, whatever. So I'm going along, I'm running, and I meet up with this guy, Nathan. He was an awesome guy. We met up probably a little bit before the first mile, and I'm chatting with people as I, passing them and running with them a little bit and chatting. And Nathan found out, okay, we have the same goal. We want to get an 8-minute mile pace or below for the race. Great. And so we start running together. Awesome. So we're running. It's like we're doing 7:15, 7:45, and then like we go up from there a little bit. And we're chatting this whole time as we're running, right? So we're just chatting back and forth, which, wins us a little more. But I was feeling good. And then we get to about mile 7-ish, right? 6, 7-ish. And it starts hitting me. I start really getting tired, really exhausted, which I know this usually happens in a half marathon to me at this point. But man, it was just, everything was just getting me down. And I think the humidity started spiking at the point, not as an excuse, but I believe that started happening, that started spiking, and it started just holding me down, and I had to slow up a little bit. We kept pushing. We were doing like 7:48, 7:50, something like that as we're running. I would have loved to run faster, but I was just feeling it, and I did not want to walk. I just wanted to keep running and keep pushing myself. So I'm running. I have my Energize with me, and I'm thinking, man, I should have had nutrition in between the ride and the run, and I didn't, right? This is my fault. And thinking about this more, I was like, okay, I definitely should have had something a little bit more in between to help fuel me for this, as opposed to just kind of running on empty like I was. I had a gel for the last little bit, but that was it. So that was my mistake. Also, I should have probably had some more water, not just Energize, maybe like every 2 miles or something, right? I have a little water from the aid stations. They had aid stations every mile, which was awesome. So I probably should have grabbed some water and just sipped on it quick and then kept going. So I'm learning from this experience of like what to do if I do this again. And so I'm running and I'm just getting down, I said about mile 7 or so. Nathan's being awesome. He's encouraging me. He's slowing down. He's helping me. He's pushing me more than I was pushing him, and just helping each other out as we're running and going on. And so we, at one station, I think it was like mile 10 or so, we get water, and I stopped for the water to sip it a little bit and throw it away, and then I started running again, so within seconds started running. We get to about mile 11, and we talked about like sprinting or pushing harder at the end. I couldn't do it, right? Like I started having my other gel. I had a gel from one of the aid stations earlier on, probably about mile 8, and that helped a little bit. I started feeling that mile 9-ish or 10, but man, I was just really feeling down. It was hard. Mentality was not there, and I was struggling. But I just wanted to keep pushing, right? So I get to mile 10 and 11, and I'm having my gel in between those and between that mile, and feeling okay, but I don't know, not even feeling okay, just feeling dead, and I'm just trying to push through. At each aid station, I grab more water, and at mile 12, I grab water, a little Gatorade as a push, since I didn't have Energize at that point, just a little bit to get the electrolytes back in, and water again, and I walked that whole aid station, something I didn't want to do, but I just walked the whole aid station, which felt good. Got water, Gatorade, water, boom, started running. I was feeling better, still tired, but I knew I only had a mile or so left. So I kept pushing, kept running, and it was slow. I wanted to go faster. I really wanted to push hard, but man, my body was just done. I felt like a zombie. I couldn't push. I gave it everything I had. And once we got to the park where it was, we go through over this little bridge into this parking lot. And in the parking lots where your ramp, your tunnel started for the finish line, right? So once I saw that, I'm like, okay, I knew I was getting close anyway, so I could pick it up a little bit once we got into the parkish area. Then we saw the tunnel area, then it was, or the chute, I should say, then I started picking it up even more, and I started just, actually really running and not just jogging or whatever at 8 miles an hour pace or whatever I was doing in that last bit, and started just running up. And you had to go around the corner, so you had to go through the chute, around the corner, and then up a hill. Yay, more hills, which was a lot of hills on the run as well. And so I'm like, I'm running up, I'm full steam. I'm like, I don't care, I gotta make it to the end. I'm gonna finish strong no matter what. So I get up to the top of the hill, and then the red carpet, the Ironman carpet's out there in the chute with the finisher, arch and all that good stuff. And then I had just enough I could sprint in at the end, which was hoping to have enough energy. I sprint in, boom, and I finish. I finished the whole thing, feeling amazing. Felt amazing that I finished, but drained, right? I gave everything I had. I was a zombie at the end of this race, just total zombie. I'm not sure anything I said to much of anyone was totally understandable. I'm not sure I heard everything because all the blood and everything was in my legs just trying to push in that last bit. I gave it everything I had. My goal for the whole thing was, I had 3 different goals. First, just to finish an Ironman, a half Ironman, and call myself a half Ironman, right? And so that's awesome. The other goal was to finish it between 6 hours and 6.5 hours. So right in there would be I'm super happy with this goal. This would be awesome if I can make this, right? The epic goal would be if I could finish it under 6 hours, right? So if I could finish in under 6, 5 something, holy crap, that would be incredible, epic goal. And I finished this race in 5:48, 57, 58, something like that, right? So in 5 hours and 49 minutes, I finished this race. Holy crap, that was the hardest race, I should say, that I've ever done. Obviously length, time-wise, it's crazy. I could call myself an endurance athlete, being able to do something for almost 6 hours straight and pulling through all this stuff. It took a lot of training, a lot of time to do this, and I'm so thankful that I was able to really conquer that huge, epic goal as it was with the whole race. A lot of things that I learned throughout it, right? Nutrition obviously is a big thing, and making sure you stay hydrated. So with that swim, right, if I had a little more water beforehand, and maybe I didn't put on the wetsuit all the way until a little bit beforehand so I wasn't getting overheated, that probably would have solved the feeling sick in the swim. And if I didn't push as hard, or maybe even if I just wasn't overheated, my stomach would have felt better, and then I would have been able to push myself a little bit more once I got out of the water, right? Jog to the bike and all that. And hopefully then I would have been able to pee in the water and not have to wait in line for the porta potties. So my timing and transition would have been a lot less than what it was. So things to learn there, right? I made it, I survived it was fine, but things to learn. The bike ride felt amazing. I wouldn't change much about that, except, for next time, speed it up, right? Or make sure that my second half is maybe faster than my first half. And still feeling good for the run. And then for the run, the thing to learn is, I just make sure I stay hydrated a little bit more than what I was doing, and the nutrition, have a bar, have a gel or something like that, a banana, something in my stomach towards the beginning of the run, so that I can keep fueling myself in that halfway point where I know I struggle. And I had something for the end. So if I did that with hydration, I think that would have solved it. And I could have run faster, right? I think I averaged a 7:53 or something like that, 7:52 average for the whole thing, for as far as running goes, which is good. I'm happy with that, especially after doing 1.2 mile swim and 56 mile bike. But I would like to get that even faster yet, so get it down to where my 7:30s and 7:15s. I bet you if I had my nutrition, I could have kept that down there and shaved off a little bit more time off the run. So things to learn, things to improve on. And even last night, I was talking with my coach, Ted, and I was telling him on the phone, like, this was an amazing experience. I had so much fun. It was hard. It was brutal. There was points where I just hated every second of it and going, this is stupid, right? Mainly in that run in like mile 9, 10, that was really hard. But but I told him on the phone, like, as hard as it was, it feels amazing, and I want to do it again. I want to do another half Ironman again and challenge myself to improve and tweak these things that now I know happen to me, so I can adjust it and get better, so I will have even better chance and better experience and better times or whatever for next time. So that's the exciting part too about this whole thing. So you guys can do it, right? So, well, before I get into that, a huge thank you to my wife, Katie, for supporting me in doing this. She was down there all weekend taking pictures and hanging out and being bored, while I'm out on the bike for 3 hours and all that good stuff. So, so thank you to her for understanding, for being down there for that, for letting me train and giving up some Saturday mornings for swimming and biking and running and all these crazy long workouts. I'm happy to be getting back to my shorter workouts for some time. That's going to be great. And so a huge thank you to her, because I really appreciate all that she's been able to help me and give me and support me with. So if you are ever interested in doing anything like this, right, know that you are capable of it. It's totally possible. You just have to set your mind to it, right, and focus and stay dedicated to that goal. Whether that goal is running, a full Ironman, half Ironman, a sprint triathlon, or heck, a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, whatever, right? You can do it. Set this up, figure out a schedule, set the time aside, and make it happen. Like there's mornings where I had to wake up at 3 a.m. and I got to the gym by 4 a.m. to get on the trainer so I could start biking at 4 and get 40 miles in before school started, right? And there's times I had to go after school, but a lot of it I tried getting done beforehand, or early morning rides on Saturdays start at 5 a.m. right when the sun came up and finish up at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., right? So finding what works for you and keep pushing yourself. Find yourself a coach. Ted's awesome. There's other coaches out there, but I'll tell you, Ted is amazing, so check him out. They're able to help with nutrition, training plans, help problem solve, and help push you, right? If you have a person there to push you. He had me do workouts and these different longer workouts, things that I wouldn't have done on my own, most likely. So I really appreciate him pushing me and doing all that. So know that it is capable, that you're capable of it, and that you could rock a race like this. So I appreciate all of you tuning in. My final times, I had about 42 minutes, a little over that, just by a couple seconds for my swim, my 1.2 mile swim. The bike ride was 3:07 if I remember correctly, and my run was an hour 45, 56, 57, something like that. So really exciting. I met, for my goals, my overall epic goal, I beat that, and all my goals for the individual ones, I beat each one. And I feel great. I feel amazing. My legs feel good today. They're a little sore, like I said earlier, like I just went for a long run. But that's it. Other than that, I'm ready to go and conquer the day. So thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. If you think this video can help anyone or know anyone interested in a play-by-play action of the half Ironman, feel free to share it with them. And any questions, comments, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. We'll catch y'all later.